Hello, you amazing, beautiful people. I don't want to do this video. Just click off, don't even watch it. This is it, guys. This is it. This sucks. AniNews released the finale of Solo Leveling's cut content. The final episode, episode 13, is done. This is it. It's released. It's here. I kind of want to just stop this video right here, and maybe if I just don't react to this, then Solo Leveling is still with us, you know? We're still watching. There's still one video out there I haven't checked. Oh, man. This is it. Today we finish Solo Leveling Season 2 fully. We do all the cut content from AniNews. Shout out AniNews. Link to their channels in the description, and we're done. We're done, guys. We have to wait like 20 years. Why haven't they announced Season 3? Please, just look. We don't even care. Just say Season 3 is in production. Just say, comment. We don't know. Just anything. Say we're talking about Season 3. We can confirm that someone in the studio mentioned Season 3 this morning, okay? They came in and they went, oh, shoot, I wonder what Season 3 is going to be like. And they did mention anything. Give us something. Ah! As you can tell, I'm a little bit tense. Anyway, press a like button, subscribe for more, and I guess let's do this. Let's finish all of Season 2's content by jumping into Season 2's finale, cut content from AniNews. Let's go.
It's a bit sad knowing we're not going to get our weekly dose of aura every Saturday now, but I really can't complain considering the amazing season we got.
Yeah, we really did, man.
From each epic battle down to
really
emotional scenes and occasional comedy, this truly was an experience to watch every week.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is coming to an end,
no,
so I just want to say
it,
thanks
man.
for allowing me to share part of it with you.
Shout out AniNews, by the way. AniNews is awesome. AniNews literally has like grown so quickly, is like so close to breaking the next 100,000 milestone. So shout out AniNews.
Really enjoyed seeing how much you all loved learning more about
We
the
love
story.
you, man. You're amazing.
Now, the finale does rearrange things quite a bit, and there's actually enough cut content to make 2 videos. So, while the anime might be done for now, you can at least experience a bit more solo leveling through one more video of mine.
Yeah! Yeah! 2 videos? Nice. Oh, man. It's not over yet, boys. It's not over yet.
It's some novel exclusive content wrapping up Jeju Island with an aftermath that's surprisingly emotional.
Beautiful.
Today we'll focus on the left out details from the scenes we did see, then next week we'll finish off the season with that. So for now, here's exactly how Sung saved Cha, how he cheesed his way to level 100 while solo clearing the island, then how he set himself up to get poached by every country in the world.
Cheesiest
it's
bro
everything
in the world,
anime
man.
left out from the manhwa and novel.
Captain Cheese Beans. That's what people call him. That's what people call him. Everyone calls him Captain Cheese Beans. You may not notice, but that's what people call him. That's what people call him. What do you mean no one calls him that? Yes, they do. Everyone calls him Captain Cheese Beans. That's his name, man.
5. On to the next target.
On to the next
Covering
target.
chapters 104 to 110 from the manhwa and chapters 121 to 133 from the novel.
Of course.
Let's start
We all
things
know
off
that.
immediately post-fight with Beru, where Sung had just gained 2 levels from beating him, and his next priority after was to save the hunter dying in front of him. As much as he wanted to celebrate, there was no time to do so since Cha's vitality was quickly deteriorating.
I really loved how I don't know about the content, we're about to find out, but I loved how in the anime we actually saw like this emotional, empathetic side to Jinwoo. This guy who's been stone cold, just badass the whole way. We actually saw him caring about Cha, like caring about everybody, smiling and happy, and just seeming like a normal dude.
Now,
despite
there was
being
no
a
scene where he
godlike.
tried to use the elixir of life to save her, but what he did do was consider every potential option available to him.
That was a nice
He
touch.
thought of teleporting with Cha or flying her out on Kaisel, but both were options that would take too long. He even considered trying
teleport
to
with
find
her?
a healer from another guild, but the odds of finding one skilled enough was very unlikely.
Could he have teleported with her? Curious.
This then led to the solution we saw in the anime, which at the moment Sung wasn't even sure would work. First, he had asked the cameraman to turn off his camera, which, unlike in the anime, had a bit more deliberation to it. Reason being that, for the cameraman, this wasn't a decision he could make just like that. I mean, yes, Sung was his savior and he felt indebted to him, but to turn off the camera was the equivalent of turning the feed off to every citizen in the entire country.
Wow.
So, knowing what would be
Not
lost
just
if
the
he
country
did,
at this point.
the cameraman hesitated in a way that was very much apparent. It's for that reason Sung took the choice out of it and proceeded with the threat we saw in the anime. It's not like he wanted to scare the guy, but with time running out, there really wasn't any other choice here. Now, a major difference that makes this scene a lot more grim is that in the novel, Min's body had to be recovered by sifting through piles of ant corpses. There were so many littered around everywhere that recovering it wouldn't have been possible if not for Sung's highly attuned perception. In fact, when Sung was able to pinpoint where exactly it was underneath all the ants, only Beck understood just how amazing that was. Since the magic energy—
Do you know what's funny? If I was there, I wouldn't have. I know people are like, what do you mean, Luke? But like, the fact that Beck was the only one who was able to be like, that's amazing. That's realistic. Because most people probably wouldn't think that's amazing. That'd be like one of those things that would happen and just kind of go over your head. He'd be like, go get the body over there. And at no point would you be like, he knew where it was. You just kind of be like, shit. Like, that shit, man, this is all crazy.
Energy emission between humans and monsters was so minutely different. Sung's ability to distinguish Min's lingering aura should have been impossible, especially since it was actively dissipating. The fact he was able to see it regardless, though, well, that was a feat not even Beck's Eyes of the Beast could pull off. Sung's perception was now more refined than Beck's specialized traits specifically intended for jobs like these. In any case, Min's mangled body wasn't a sight a close friend like Beck wanted to look at, but he knew deep down he had to witness what was gonna happen next. Sung naturally had extraction on his mind the moment the news of Min's death was confirmed, but pursuing it was never something he actually wanted. You see, he refused to turn an innocent soul into one of his undead soldiers. It didn't matter how powerful that person was. Defiling a hero in that manner was a level Sung knew he'd never stoop to. This, however, was a dire situation, so if he could entrust the life of Cha to the best healer in the entire country, then that was a decision he needn't think twice about.
Such an amazing
Had the call
scene,
been up
by
to
the
Min
way.
himself, then Sung knew he would have done the same as well. So it's here another major difference from the anime occurs, since in the novel Min's extraction failed once, while in the manhwa it actually failed twice. The manhwa explained this as Min's soul being strongly opposed to becoming a shadow, which was a point of morality contrasted by Iron's confusion. The novel gives a reason I personally think makes a bit more sense, since with the difference in power being the key determining factor of shadow extraction's success, the idea that a soul could oppose it kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
How then does the—
Oh, yeah. That's a good point, actually. That does just add an element that isn't, like, mentioned. And, like, I don't know, does that come up again? Obviously, don't say it because it'd be a spoiler, but if that doesn't come up again, then the idea of that is such a random, left field thing that has, like, no, like, what's the word? Like, element to the anime or anything. Like, no standing in the anime. It's just, like, a random thing. It's like, maybe it's because his soul is this. And it's like, maybe, but that evidence isn't anywhere that even exists in this world.
The novel explain it? Well, instead it chalks it up to a lack of motivation. Sung wasn't fully invested in turning Min into a shadow, so at the time of extraction, it didn't work. He didn't want Min's shadow the same way he wanted the others, so it was that lack of determination that affected his success here. It was when he focused up for the second attempt that's when extraction worked just fine. So while this was quite different from Sung saying he heard Min's voice telling him to use his powers, I suppose that version aligns better with the well-rounded character they're trying to make Sung be. In any case, it was when everyone saw what it was Sung was capable of that Sung would simply nod yes or no to their many questions. He saw zero need to explain anything more himself, but he also didn't see a reason to lie either. In a way, this transparency was like a load lifted off his shoulders. For the first time, this was a public place where he could just be himself.
I actually love that because, like we just said, he's never been himself. He's never been able to, like, properly, like, just open up to everybody. Bro has had to hide a million and fucking one things his entire time. So the fact that he was actually able to answer these questions, and he probably felt amazing doing it.
Of course, everyone else would form their own impressions anyway, each in awe and fear at what they were seeing. Beck, however, was privy to one more bit of information the others weren't, and that was that Sung could grow stronger. So, if this was the power he was showing now, then Beck couldn't even begin to imagine how much stronger he would get later. The cameraman now understood why it was Sung wanted the cameras off, since if this was how scared the top hunters in the country looked, then one could only imagine how much more terrifying such a revelation would be to a normal person.
Yeah.
In
It
the
would be
novel,
pretty
Sung would
fucking freaky.
dismiss Min's
Bro's
shadow
making his own
without being
freaky-ass
asked, while in
demon
the
army.
manhwa, Beck's plea almost came off as begging. It was a very heartfelt request for the person who was once his close friend. This brings us now to the post-raid cleanup, where Sung would go on this whole extra side mission. With ants fleeing the tunnels out of fear towards the Shadow Soldiers, they were effectively running to anywhere that wasn't here. So Sung would first accompany the hunters to the helicopter, clear a path for them with Kaisel before takeoff, then stay behind to clear the island in its entirety.
Which was kind of the same in the anime as well.
Beck could only smirk knowing you need a monster to fight monsters. So, Sung would start hunting ants and—
Anyone seen Demolition Man? No? Maybe? You know when they like send a maniac to catch a maniac? Same kind of shit, man.
The slowest way imaginable,
God
riding
damn.
on Kaisel's
Oh,
back
it looks
while
so
using
cool!
Dagger
Look at the
to
teeth!
eliminate them one by one. He was
That is
being
a cool
extremely
design,
diligent
man.
also he could reach level 100. Since he hadn't booked any gates for the foreseeable future, Sung knew this would be his only chance to gain XP for a while.
This guy.
He did consider the lucky instance of a potential dungeon break, but that was something
Oh yeah,
Sung
lucky.
realized he
How?
probably shouldn't
Fingers
hope for.
crossed, guys. Yeah,
With the
there you
dungeon
go.
break
Don't
being
hope
a
for
direct
it.
result of one or more raid teams
Fuck's
failing,
sake, man.
to consider them a good thing was insensitive to those who died for it to happen.
Yeah, a little bit.
The other reason he was farming XP was because he wanted to make sure he was the highest level possible before trying to extract Beru. Failing Min's reminded him of the dreadful feeling that came when extracting Baraka, so in order to give himself the best chances possible, Sung decided he would raise his levels first by any means necessary. So, surveying the island would eventually lead him to the place where the Japanese hunters were killed, revealing multiple bodies filled with extremely powerful magical energy. A more familiar energy would be sensed nearby, but no matter how hard Sung looked, he couldn't find the source's body anywhere.
Oh.
Eventually, he'd realized that there was no body left. With only pools of blood emanating this magic, Sung could tell Goto had been devoured completely.
Oh.
Not a single trace of him was left to try and perform an extraction on. We don't know if that—
Oh. He actually was looking for Goto to perform an extraction. He said he wouldn't want to condemn an innocent soul. I guess technically, considering what Goto and the Japanese hunters wanted to do to the Korean hunters, I guess innocence is a bit of a stretch, right?
That's actually what he wanted to do here, but he did find the death of Japan's strongest utterly meaningless. Fast forward to when every ant on the island was dead, and Sung would feel disappointed since he hadn't yet leveled up to 100.
Yeah.
He would reluctantly proceed into the tunnel to extract Beru regardless, only to pick up on the presence of other monsters. What he sensed was the countless eggs within the nursery.
Oh.
Faint magic signals exhibiting almost fully matured ants within. What happened next was by definition a spawn-killing XP farm, but with every single ant possessing these evolutionary wings, Sung knew he had gotten here just in time. Had these ants hatched and joined the ranks of the Ant Queen's army, then the assault on Japan and Korea would have been devastating. Now, the subsequent extermination was pretty much the same, but a quick note to note about the Demon King's longsword is that Sung couldn't replicate the same stun effect that the Demon King used.
Oh.
It seems that was an ability specific to him.
Oh.
But anyway, in the end, Sung would reach level 100 from these eggs. His next order of business was to extract Beru, and since—
This is kind of cool, by the way, because also I love the way AniNews talks. AniNews always goes like low, 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 high, and low, 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 high, and I love that. Like that's not me like saying anything mean. Like I actually really like that because it keeps you interested. It's like a good like annunciator. You know, for example, like Barack Obama when he was like president, he was like a really good like speaker. AniNews has the same sort of like style of his voice. Is really good. Yeah, one thing I always wondered was the level 100 thing, and I'm curious to see if there's gonna be more to it. Simply because in the anime, I kind of felt like level 100 was hit and it was like a nothing thing. It's like, level 100 and who cares? You know? It didn't really feel like a big deal. And I always assumed it was going to be this like big thing, but nothing happened. So maybe in this, there's more. So I'm wondering.
Since he knew from Min concentration played a role in its success, Sung gave himself a moment to focus. It was when the darkness fully enveloped him that not a single thing could be perceived from within it. If there was even a single trace of light, then with his high perception, Sung would have been able to detect something. With not even that allowed, though, Sung could literally see nothing.
Wait, when he hit level 100, did this is something I actually did catch, but I forgot to say. Was because when I was editing the video, I actually looked at this, the final video, and I noticed that when he hit level 100, a little message popped up for a split second that said he got another key. I did notice that.
Was truly cut off from everything around him. What came after was a jump scare that frightened even him, since the moment the darkness had lapsed, there Beru was standing right in front of him. Sung didn't get to see how his shadow came to be, but there it was, making him think he somehow came back to life. It was so surprising that Sung almost lashed out on reflex. This is a bit more tame compared to the anime, so I think I appreciate the epic highlight they gave Beru here more. In any case, it was right as Sung was about to summon the queen next that's when Beru would start talking. Sung would then ask how it was he was able to do so, and Beru would respond simply with, "He always could." It was an answer that made Sung assume he was referring to how he could speak before, but that contradicted with the shadows of Iron, Tusk, and Min. That being the case, the only conclusion left was that this had to do with Beru's rank. If the general rank was what made him capable of speaking, then Sung assumed his other shadows would eventually get to start talking too.
Oh,
it was yet another
that would
reason
be
to
really
keep leveling them
cool.
up. Now,
That
if
would be
you're
very
wondering
cool.
how Beru's name came to be, well, Sung knew it wouldn't make sense to call him ant or insect, so he instead thought back to a book he read. The title of it was The Ants, and the author went by the name Bernard Weber. If you pronounce Bernard the way it is in Korean, then that's how you get the long-form version of the name Beru is named after.
Oh.
It was after that Sung would
nice
extract
touch.
the shadow of the queen, which, while also as strong as the general rank, went to weaken Sung's own bond with his existing ants. When Sung asked Beru why this was happening, he explained it was because the queen's inherent power directly conflicted with his own.
Wait, in the anime, am I a dumbass here? He didn't summon the queen, did he? Did he summon and release the queen? No, I swear he just spoke about this. Am I an idiot? I don't remember him doing that.
See, she had an innate command over the ants that
didn't
went
do that,
to
did he?
trump Sung's.
But he thought about it.
So long as she was alive, any orders Sung wanted to give to the ants would unfortunately have to go through her first.
Oh.
It was a tedious thought that ultimately led him to dismiss her. The other reason was how incredibly weak she was compared to back when she was alive, which Beru explained was a product of her losing her physical body.
Oh.
Since most of her magic energy was used for reproduction, the fact she was no longer capable of it meant she lost all the magic energy required to make it happen.
Oh.
The queen was never a monster suited for the battlefield, and her status as a shadow pretty much confirmed that. In the meantime, Sung's other shadows would be collecting mana stones, but with those intended as compensation for victims and funds for Jeju Island's reconstruction, Sung had ordered them to be left behind. He felt it wrong to keep any for himself. Plus,
you see what I mean? You see what I mean about our boy Jinwoo? This guy, man, this guy ain't leaving nothing for nobody. And I mean, like, in terms of aura. This guy is the fucking Riz King. No, we'll leave them to help the families. Let's donate them all. Like, fuck me, this guy couldn't be more cool.
With Beru's pitch black shard seeming valuable all on its own, Sung figured that was more than enough compensation.
God damn.
In the end, he would be left with that and a total of 570 out of 570 shadows stored. So, that's pretty much it for the raid in the novel, but in the manhwa, Beru would still proceed to help with cleanup off the island. He would reveal the ants could no longer fight together, making them this disorganized force akin to pests.
Which is what happened in the
Sung's
anime.
request after wouldn't just be to thin out their numbers, it was actually to take out all of them. And while yes, Beru did help the best he could, the complete subjugation effort ended up lasting 2 days total. The ranks of all 5 major guilds were spread across the coast, catching any ants they possibly could.
It makes sense.
The ants were, as we saw,
they're gonna
also
be
off
hard
the
to
coast
find,
of China,
but
who,
also
due
not.
to their unpredictable arrival, had left the defense force awake for 2 days straight. It's here we meet the national level hunter G.O.T always said he was equal to, followed by a clear display of why he was not. For the Korean team that left before Sung, by the time they arrived back home, Chairman Go was right there waiting for him. The last thing
that was it? So what the anime showcased with the Chinese national level hunter was exactly the same as the novel. Oh, I'm actually a little bit disappointed. I thought we were going to see a bit more. That was it. Like, AniNews just glossed over that. It's here we meet this guy, he's pretty tough. And then moving on, it's like, oh. No, man, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more about that guy.
He heard was of Cha's dire status, so immediately he found 2 A-rank healers and had them waiting on standby. What those healers found was absolutely nothing, so in the end their efforts weren't needed at all. As far as they could tell, whoever healed her before them had left her spotless.
Yeah, she cool.
It was for a brief moment that Cha would then wake up here, only to ask the simple question, did Sung show up? You see, she clearly recognized that Sung's scent was on her, and as a result wanted to confirm whether what she felt while unconscious was a dream or not. As soon as the team confirmed that it was Sung,
what she felt while unconscious. His massive donger pressed up again. I felt a lot of energy when I was unconscious, bro. Was that Jim Woo? Was that Jim Woo? Felt like all 16 inches of Jim Woo.
She felt while unconscious was a dream or not.
Fuck's sake.
As soon as the team confirmed that it was Sung who saved her, Cha would immediately fall back to sleep again.
Nice, bless her.
This brings us now to the aftermath with Japan, where the loss of 10 S ranks left Matsumoto spiraling. Remember, all 20 were sent to Jeju Island in the novel, and only half returned after. Had the Korean hunters been killed alongside their own, then there was a chance the situation could have been salvaged. It's because they weren't, though, that what was happening now could only be described as a disaster. Now the only thing Matsumoto could think about was the conversation he had before the raid. Goto had expressed a potential hiccup requiring modifications to the plan, but that was advice Matsumoto decided to ignore.
Well,
that being the case,
shouldn't have ignored
now
it.
he couldn't help but ask himself why he chose to do that.
Yes.
I mean, Goto was the one who understood the power of hunters best, so to dismiss his first ever assessment that a Korean hunter was incredible, well, that's where Matsumoto knew he messed up.
He fucked up, bro.
It was arrogance that went to...
No, messed up is the wrong way to word what he did. Fucked up. Big old, massive elephant ball style.
Cost him dearly. If they had just analyzed Sung's powers properly beforehand, then he and Japan would have just cooperated in good faith from the get-go. It pained him to know this whole thing could have been avoided entirely.
Well done, dude.
So, that's when Matsumoto would determine one single way to salvage this, and that was to recruit Sung himself. If there was any person who could revitalize the Japanese Hunter Association, Matsumoto knew it was him.
Very true.
He just needed to figure out the best way to do so.
There's no way.
It's after this that we get into quite a bit of side stuff regarding the Americans, but that's content we'll for sure be seeing in Season 3.
Ah, man, I was well excited for a second there. This guy walking around with his sunglasses and his smile, he looks like a character from Mortal Kombat. God damn it, I can't wait to find out more about Thomas Andre.
If we skip past all that, next we'll find quite a bit of novel-exclusive scenes wrapping up Jeju Island and its aftermath. It's all the loose ends tied up nicely, ending things on an emotional note I personally didn't expect myself. To continue on past even that, now we have the operation on Jeju Island with the Knights Guild. This was actually a mission to retrieve Min's body since it was too hectic to extract with it during the raid. Now that Sung had cleared all the ants though, the chairman ordered an immediate recovery of it. It was a mission Jong-soo readily volunteered for since with his guild being the only top 5 one not to participate in the raid, this was his only chance to save their diminishing reputation. It's here in the manhwa Jong-soo decides to give his life story, speaking of how before becoming a hunter he was an incredible athlete. His entire life he trained to go to the Olympics, then literally the day before he awakened as a hunter.
Oh.
This put his goal out of reach forever, leaving that last obstacle never to be overcome.
Yeah, because I'm guessing you can't
however,
compete
wasn't
in the
enough
Olympics
to
if you're a
make
hunter.
Jong-soo give up, since now he was set on making the best guild in Korea. It was...
If you can... Oh, you know what? You know what would be really cool, though? It would be cool to have, like imagine Olympics but with hunters and each of like ranks compete against ranks. That would be kind of fucking awesome.
It's a goal he was
I guess it wouldn't be fair of like different classes,
but in a
though.
funny scene here, he felt that with these mana crystals he might be able to. It was just a joke about embezzling funds from the government. Now, there were numerous military soldiers present as well, and in the novel that made for quite the tense situation. Reason being that they knew if a monster showed up, they were effectively helpless.
True.
It's for that reason they couldn't take it easy the same way Jong-soo and his hunters did. So, it was the closer this recovery team got to the tunnel that the more bodies of ants they would start to notice. Eventually they would start to see literal mountains, each of which spoke volumes to Sung's power. As hunters who partook in the previous raid, they knew how difficult it was to kill just one of these ants. So one could only wonder how Sung managed to kill all of these solo. Now, part of the reason why a person showing up here was so unexpected was because news of the island's clearing should have been top secret.
This is something I'm very curious about. Who the fuck are these dudes?
There was a chance certain enterprises would swoop in to claim these magic crystals given the opportunity, so Chairman Go took measures to prevent that. This led the soldiers to take the lead here, since with this person seemingly not a monster or anything related to the raid, the decision on what to do with him fell on them. Their orders were to take control of the situation on the island, so this mysterious person was part of that.
Okay.
It's for that reason Jong-soo would stand aside and let the soldiers do their job, resulting in a tense standoff where neither side could do anything. The mysterious person clearly didn't understand any of the orders the soldiers were giving him, and the soldiers weren't so relaxed as to not open fire. It was once this mysterious person started speaking, though, that two terrifying revelations were made one after the other.
That statement, the soldiers were not so relaxed as to not open fire. Doesn't that mean they did open fire? This dude just comes walking out, hey, what's going on? How you doing? These were Korean soldiers sent to the island, right? Not American soldiers. We gotta be careful there. I'm just saying, like, it would make sense.
The first was that this wasn't a recognizable language from any country on Earth, and the second was that it was a monster. It was the moment such a...
There's no fucking way that all of those soldiers would be able to understand immediately that this language is not from Earth.
Fact was made clear that a single shot was fired from one of the soldiers. The way it bounced off his head confirmed this wasn't a human, and that was when everyone present knew they were in trouble. Anime Craven here was actually about to make a move himself, up until the elf stepped in first. The ensuing conversation was just as vague as we saw in the anime, leaving not much else to be said aside from this. The beast guy wasn't referring to the smell in general here, he was actually talking about the ants specifically. Whatever woman he believed was going to get triggered by it, he was referring to the sight of the mangled ant corpses, not just some terrible stench.
Oh.
Anime Craven also believed the elf leaving to be cowardice, so that changes the context behind how we perceived their presence here. It makes it seem like the elf was avoiding something. The beast guy wanted to take care of whoever them was, but that was something the elf seemed far too cautious to. But yeah, that's pretty much it for everything on the island, so I think here's a good place to stop.
A lot of questions around that, I'm gonna be honest. Also, shout out AniNews, man. AniNews has crushed it with these videos, so if you aren't subscribed to AniNews and you're watching my reactions, go subscribe to AniNews. Link in the description. Yeah, so we got these random two people that just came out, not people, monsters, but they had the ability to like come out in portals and they seemed very coherent, they were talking, they don't look like your average monsters, there's definitely a difference to them. And they were also talking about someone who is going to be there, is coming there or something like that, that would be angry with the smell, but like again, very vaguely, so that is like left up in the air. There was a lot around that. Like, that was the part I was most curious about, because that was the part that felt like the most left out. And yet, they gave nothing, which is good and bad in a way. It's bad because it doesn't give me any answers at all. Not even a little bit, man. I kind of would have liked a little bit more, but it's good because it obviously means the anime is following it quite closely. And if that's the case, then that means we're probably going to get every answer we need in the anime. So I just need to shut up and not rush it. I have had a bunch of people ask me whether or not I'm going to react or personally read the novel, web novel, light novel, manhwa, and the answer is no. I'm not going to. I want to remain anime only. I'm one of these people that doesn't need the answers to a question straight away. So despite the fact that I'm going to have to wait, I would rather wait, enjoy it blind, than read it and then watch the anime after knowing what's coming. It's going to be a lot more fun for me personally to continue this completely blind. And when all the twists and everything happens, it's just going to be a 100% surprise. Whereas if I read it, I'd know everything that's coming, and and then my hype would be around the animation, which is obviously like you guys who have read it as well. I kind of like that I don't know anything. I'm looking forward to watching the next video that AniNews is going to upload as well. I'm really happy and glad we got another one. Also, for a lot of people asking about Bricky, Bricky just uploaded a new Warhammer video. Yes, I'm going to react to it. Yes, I'm going to check out all of it. Yes, I know how long it is. But for anyone who's a fan of the Warhammer reactions on this channel, I thought I'd give you a heads up there. So, I guess that's where this ends. I'll do a proper wrap-up after the next video, so I won't do one now. I love the stuff with Beru. That was awesome. I love the idea of all of the shadows being able to talk in the future. That's very cool. Egress talking? Egress is someone I imagine, even if they had the ability to talk, just wouldn't talk. That's the energy Egress gives off. Tank, on the other hand, would be hilarious, as well as Iron. Those two feel like could be kind of funny. The Wyvern talking would be kind of interesting. Go for some Dragonheart stuff here. But yeah, I guess that's where my reaction ends. I have massively enjoyed these cut content videos, as well as Solo Leveling Season 2 in general, and I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who supported my reactions on the main channel and here on G.O.T Extra. Have yourselves an amazing day. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out of the door, and as always, my friends, you will see me in the next video.